Hi, my name is Jack Daly, and I want to give you a little background on myself as well as a company called Leverage Sales Coach. I have a serial entrepreneur. I've spent my whole life building businesses. I started selling at the age of 7, and when I was 7, I owned the market and charged twice the price of every kid I competed with. I live in Southern California, but I grew up in the northeast part of the United States. And I built 6 companies from scratch into national firms here in the U.S., selling 2 of them to Wall Street, First Boston and Salomon Brothers. All of them have the same pedigree or thread running through them. Very fast growing on the sales revenue side, very fast growing on the profit side. And at some point in time, about 20 years ago, I lost my passion for building businesses. I lost my passion for getting in front of the employees and my associates and saying, let's take that hill. And so I pulled the plug and sort of retired, but I got too much energy for that. And I had a lot of people calling and saying, how did you build these companies that were so fast growing? To give you an example, I'm an endurance athlete and I moved to Southern California because of the weather. And when I got there, I brought 3 people with me that I had worked with me before. We started building our company, and 18 months later, we had 22 offices and 750 employees, and that was done in our first 3 years. We made $42 million in earnings. I've done that over and over and over again. Well, when I quote-unquote retired, an awful lot of people wanted to know, how did you do that? So I got into the speaking and consulting business, and in the last year have launched something called Leverage Sales Coach, which is a virtual sales coach model where we teach and familiarize our coaches, and they get licensed, if you will, to operate under the Leverage Sales Coach system and processes. In effect, a playbook to ensure your success at the top and bottom line. What I found in working with entrepreneurs worldwide is one of the failings is they commit one of what I call the 3 sins of sales management. If you want to grow your sales in most businesses, the way to do that is to grow your sales force in quantity and quality. And the way you grow your sales force in quantity and quality is by recruit, train, coach, build, and develop salespeople. And the role of that person is called the sales manager. And these 3 sins are as follows. The CEO, owner of the firm, managing director, they're wearing the hat of the CEO as well as the hat of the sales manager. In effect, de facto, you're growing the company part-time. The second sin is we take the best salesperson we have and we promote them to the sales manager position. But very often what happens is you lose your best salesperson and get a mediocre sales manager in the trade. They're entirely different jobs. Skill sets are different. And the salesperson lives in a world called immediate gratification, which the sales manager position has none of that. And then the third sin is we take the best salesperson, we make them the sales manager, and say, continue with your book of business, which I have no idea how that person is judged successful. Do you judge that person's success based on the amount of sales they brought in or on the leverage of growing their sales force in quantity and quality? Because no matter how good you are as a salesperson, there's only so many calls you can take, so many calls you can make, and so many deals that you can write. And as a result, so many companies are lacking in that area of sales management. The second thing that I would tell you is that so many of our companies out there are operating without a playbook. And what I mean is the proven systems and processes that would cause individual salespeople and the collective body of salespeople to be more successful. We wouldn't have a sports team hit the field without a playbook and without practicing and without training and each person understanding what their role was when they hit the field or the court. Well, we should have the same criteria when it comes to sales management. And by the way, that's what Leverage Sales Coach is all about. Well, the really great news is Serge Romano has been working with me over the last 6 years in one of my larger clients in Australia, and he's agreed to come on board and lead our charge there in Australia for us. And I have thousands and thousands of people that have heard me speak before in Australia and have wanted more of Jack Daly. But we've had a real tough time in trying to figure out how to do that until Serge came onto the court and said, "This is my passion, Jack. I understand your systems and processes. I've seen them work hands-on in my business. Let me come in and lead the charge here in Australia." I really encourage you to get a hold of Serge. He's based in Melbourne, and I will tell you, we're having tremendous success with our clients. Last year, one of our clients grew by 24,000%. I had another client in the last 15 years went from 4 million in sales with 7 salespeople to now in excess of $450 million in annual sales with 425 salespeople, following the systems and processes that our coaches will help you with in the Leverage Sales Coach model. Well, this is Jack Daly. Thanks for taking the time to listen to a few words from me today, and go take a look at what Serge has to offer.